Agua.
There is a man walking down this long, dark hallway. To each side of him, there's doors. And every time he enters a door, he sees something that he doesn't really want to see. It's like a curse. He keeps walking 10 steps, 20 steps. He sharply turns to his right. He takes out a jingle jangle of keys. He's got a whole set of keys. He finds the right one. This takes a lot of time, and keys are loud. So whoever's on the other side of the door, they probably are hearing him. But he doesn't stop. He jingle jangles his way until he finds the appropriate tiny little key. He sticks it into the keyhole, turns the knob right, swings open the door, and he sees the world's worst nightmare. What is on the other side of this door?
His wife
Yeah.
in bed.
With another man.
You know, I think that's kind of cute that I said that's the worst nightmare. It's worse. It's worse than that. Think about something that would change your whole perspective of humanity.
His wife
In bed. With an alien. Okay? So he opens the door and he sees two people. He sees two people inside this room. It's a tiny little room. It looks like a supply closet. And it's in his place of occupancy. Wait, what do you call that? It's in his place of work. This is where he works. This is a supply closet. He's just opened the door that you need a key to get into, and he sees two people, two middle schoolers. He works in a middle school. He's a teacher. He sees two middle schoolers, a girl and a guy, and they are licking each other's eyeballs. He closes the door shut.
What?
He's walking away and they're running after him. Teacher, let me explain. We can explain this whole thing. Like, I know it looks weird. I know it's like we've got a retina, interest. It's not that. It's not that. We're just trying to study oncology. No, is that oncology? No, that's not. We're trying to study ophthalmology, okay? However, you know when you really like someone, you don't even have to be interested in them romantically. You just like them as a friend. You take their hand and you give them a hug. That's a normal way of showing affection, right? However, the young people these days in Japan, we like to lick each other's eyeballs. It's the best way to form a deep friendship with one another. And the teacher is sitting there thinking,
What's the logistic behind that?
Okay, so it's actually very difficult to keep your eye wide open while somebody is licking it. I think it's like a natural reflex to want to close your eyes. It's very difficult. So the logistics is I have to keep my eye wide open, and then you have to come and put your tongue flat on my pupil. You don't actually do like the licking motion. I don't think my eyeball is that big enough, but you just put your you put your tongue onto my eyeball and leave it there.
I feel like that's like
It's weird.
I feel like it's dangerous.
They call it worming. So all of these, he's writing on a forum. This teacher is going on this Japanese forum, like a Japanese Reddit, and he's talking about all of the things that are happening at his middle school that he finds to be super alarming. This was the first incident. And he's writing in this forum, now that he thinks about it, it has been weird working at this middle school because all of the time, random kids would show up with eye patches on their eyes. And it just felt, he originally thought maybe they wear some nasty colored contacts or something of that sort. He didn't know. He just thought there's some pink eye going around. It's likely because they're licking each other's eyeballs. The amount of students he saw wearing eye patches were more than half like the class.
More than half of the class is
so
wearing an eye patch.
Licking each other's eyeballs. This little post on this Japanese forum goes viral to the point where mainstream media news outlets in America start reporting on it. Japanese youth trend of licking eyeballs could be heading to the West. Could cause potential blindness. Let's hear from our CNN top doctor reporter. And then they're like interviewing people, and it's always a fucking eye doctor that's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Wait, so
like, yeah.
why exactly they're licking the eyeball again?
For fun, for vibes, for connection, for deep soulful connection, for friendship.
Kind of wild, huh?
And so a lot of people in Japan, they start reacting to the West, reacting to this, and they're like, guys, we're not actually licking each other's eyeballs. That forum that the Japanese teacher posted on, it's like a shit post. He's a shit poster. He just be fucking posting anything. Today he's a teacher. Yesterday he was a different occupation. Guys, we're not licking each other's eyeballs. Do you really think that this is what's going viral in Japan right now? No, it's not. I'll tell you what's going viral in Japan right now. Let me tell you, this news has been keeping me up at night because it is I don't want to say it's a strange story. It's a very enlightening story where at every point I keep turning my mind and I go, I think I like this person more. No, I think this person's in the wrong, and I keep changing my mind. So let me know who you think is in the wrong. But with that being said, this case has also gone viral in China because of course it has. And our guy is coming up again. You know which one.
Wants to toe.
No. Roland. You remember Roland? He is the top host in Japan.
Daddy.
Now, we went in depth on his morning routine, his mid-afternoon routine, his nighttime routine. The fact that he's got mirrors. Every single wall in his bedroom is a mirror. The top, the floor, everything is a mirror. There is not an angle. There is not an orifice. There is not a dark cave inside your body that he won't be able to see if you're inside of his bedroom. That's all I'm going to say about that. And it's a $10 million condo in Tokyo. He is the top host in Japan, and I'm going to spare you the details because I do feel like every single 3 months I go down and I have to explain to people what a host and hostess club in Japan is. Like, I feel like I'm at Whole Foods at the seafood checkout line where they're getting the sea bass, and then I'm trying to explain. No, okay, so basically, the Japanese host club works like this. That's what I'm doing every single 3 months. So I'm going to leave links to videos where I've talked about this club. But we are talking about the top hostess now and the craziest drama that she's been involved in, to the point where throughout all of this mess, one apology video was made where somebody is sitting there giving a formal apology. They are talking as authentically as possible about how sorry they are. And then in the middle, their assistant stops them and says, wait, hold on. I think right now is a good time for an ad break. Huh? And for some reason, that is all left in the video. It's the strangest, weirdest thing. There's tens of millions of dollars being spent by one person at a hostess club. Let's get into it. The real shit that's going viral in Japan is this man's post. He goes on there and he posts and he says, listen, I'm a very, very successful person.
This is a different guy or same guy?
It's a different guy.
Okay.
He says, I'm a very successful person, but that's not the point. I'm not here to flex on all the peasants. I am here to tell you that I have been scammed. Yes, me, I have been scammed. I've been scammed by a woman who told me that she was going to marry me. And every single day, I spent tens of thousands of dollars on her because I was adamant that this was going to be the one for me. And she has done the world's worst things. I have covered up her brother's heinous crimes. Oh yeah, some crimes that you guys don't even know about. And she is your favorite hostess. The number one hostess in Japan. And everyone is like, wait, the number one hostess in Japan was engaged? What is happening right now? And the world starts falling apart. So let's talk about Hey Mika. She is the number one hostess in Japan. And it's actually kind of interesting. There's something about her that you can't really quite put your finger on. When you think about the number one hostess, she's going to sit there. The number one hostess, this would be her job, right? You sit there. All these men come in, typically men. They pay for your time. They pay and they buy bottles of champagne and you actually drink with them. That's why in Roland's video, we were talking about how these hosts, they would be wasted, just blacked out by the end of the night because the amount that you have to drink with these clients is insane. So then you drink, you talk, you flatter them, you stroke their ego, and you make them feel like the most special boy in the world. And then they come back next weekend and they spend a mortgage on you. That's the number one hostess's job, right? So what do you imagine that Hey Mika would look like, or how she would behave, or what's her selling point in terms of why does everybody want to spend time with her versus anybody else?
Maybe she's like a Like she knows how to flatter a man's ego, right? Or do you, yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes. It's even crazier. It's even crazier because she doesn't drink. She doesn't drink and she doesn't care about money. And she's the number one hostess. Here is everything we know about Heimika. She is the number one hostess to the point where the first year she started part-time. It was super casual. Her first year, she makes $1.9 million. Second year, she makes $5.4 million. Her third year, she makes $6.3 million.
Damn.
And she's 18, which means at this point in 2022, prior to 2022, you can't even drink alcohol in Japan until you're 20. So for 2 years of her career, she wasn't even allowed to drink alcohol. She's not even sharing champagne with her clients because the clients have to buy their champagne and the champagne the hostess drinks. And then add tip on top of that. She's not drinking anything.
Right. So the customer can't even spend two
Exactly.
two glasses of champagne.
Every time. It's just one. And people are lining up outside the door to meet with her, and she doesn't even care about money. She's a Nepo baby. People start digging into her because they're like, whatever she's doing, we got to figure it out. Also, here's another crazy thing. A lot of the hostesses at the club, they will wear slightly sexy outfits because, you know, that's what gains attention. She dresses in straight up like ball gown-esque, fairy princess-esque, Disney princess-esque, and she's 18. And that makes me really stressed about the future of humanity. Like, what is happening? These men are coming in here and they're like, that one. That's the one. I mean, she is so stunning. She's like the most beautiful human being that I have ever laid my eyeballs on a screen before, but she's beautiful. However, it is very interesting. No, she's wearing like the very fairy like dresses and everybody else is dressed kind of more sexy and she's leaning into it. And then on top of that, people start digging because none of it is making sense. She's not even of drinking age. She's not the sexiest in the club. What is it about her that makes everybody love her? And then on top, she doesn't need the money. Turns out she is a Nepo baby. Her dad runs this massive auto import company. They import Mercedes-Benz, they import Porsche into Japan, sell them. They have dealerships all over the country. And he's like out here sponsoring Porsche racing clubs in Japan. Her mom is second generation rich. So that would make her third generation rich. She literally was interviewed and they were asked like, why are you a hostess if you don't even need money? And she said, well, I mean, it's not like my family are extremely wealthy, but I never really had to worry about money growing up. I just think hostessing is fun because I get to meet lots of different people. So it's not even just like one type of person I'm meeting and talking to. I get to meet a wide variety of people. And I just thought that I would do it for a few months for fun and to really get to know how people think and how people talk and just make connections. But I ended up doing it for years.
So this is like a side quest?
Yeah, this is a sign. They actually have a thing for that in China. In China, they call these coworkers, because you know when you go to work, your hair is a mess. It's greasy. You haven't showered in 2 days. Everything is a shit show. Your life is falling apart. Rent is due. You got to take the subway 1 hour home. And then you got a coworker who's there who's just, this is a side quest for them. They're like, daddy's rich. Actually, daddy owns this company. And he told me if I work at this internship for like 6 months, he'll buy me a Maserati.
And
so
they look like a supermodel?
Yeah.
And the daddy is the CEO of Samsung?
Yes.
And you are not the main character.
No, but her bodyguard is, okay? Yeah, he was at one point, you know, remember? Because she was working as the intern and then married the bodyguard and then that was a whole thing. But you know what? F that bodyguard. F that bodyguard. Anyway. So this is a side quest for her. And she decides that she's going to stay for a few years and just test it out. She starts hostessing at 18 years old. Now, it's her 23rd birthday party at the Hostess Club. Listen, if you've been watching any of the other videos, birthdays are so important for hosts and hostesses. It's not just about, ooh, I'm gonna get a cake in the back rooms with my coworkers. The birthday, the host or hostess's birthday becomes a whole club-wide event. It is promoted for the entire weekend, and it is the time that the hostess calls all of her top clients, they come in the same night and they all blow through their mortgage in a singular night in not even 24 hours. I want to say it's like 3 hours. And it's so interesting because I don't know, the psychology behind it still gets me to this day, because I think I can understand the psychology of host and hostess clubs. But this birthday event, they have gamified it. Every single hostess, they have a ranking at the bar. So if you want to go see the number one hostess, you have to pay more because she's ranked number one. So to go talk to the number one hostess, you have to pay a premium, right? But because you can see the rankings, a lot of hostesses, clients feel the need to pay more to get their hostess to the top.
And then they ended up have to pay more the next time.
Yes. So it's very confusing. So the birthday events, that's what every single client wants to shell out to make sure that their reign at the top stays. And for Heimika's 23rd birthday, it's a celebration that lasts 3 whole days. And she generates $3.2 million over that weekend. $3.2 million. She is at her peak. She is at her prime. And what does she do at her peak in her prime of her career? She announces that she will be resigning. She will never be a hostess again. She says these were the best years of her life. However, she feels satisfied and fulfilled as her entire journey and as a hostess has come to an end.
When was this?
This is in 2023. No, end of 2022. So this is October 2022. But I think she does like one more weekend or something. And then by 2023, she's no longer a hostess. But the drama that unfolds was like a month ago. Oh yeah, it's crazy. So she resigns as a hostess and people are so confused. They initially thought that she is going to become a full-time model now, because prior to this, as she's hostessing, she does have an Instagram following of 1 million followers. She's constantly on these Japanese fashion magazine covers. So people thought that makes sense. She's doing this transition and she's probably the best one to do it. She looks straight up like an idol. Except a few months later, earlier of last year, so February of 2024, she comes back to announce, actually, I'm not done with the hostess life. She stops for about 1.5 years. She comes back and says, I'm not going to be done with the club. I will actually be the official president of the club that I used to hostess at. She said the CEO of the chain that owns multiple hostess clubs has asked me personally to be the president of the club that I used to work at. And she makes this whole Instagram post of, it's definitely nothing that she's ever done before. And she says, I understand that being a player in the game does not mean I knew how to manage the game or run the company, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to make sure instead of me becoming the top hostess, I'm going to make sure all the girls that work for me become the top hostess, and I'm going to put my whole wussy into this. I am going to make sure that I am the most dedicated president that you have ever seen, and I am going to lead this to greater lengths and higher highs. It's like the most beautiful. Honestly, if I just read this speech, I'm like, this is like a presidential campaign. It's so good.
So she's not hosting.
No.
She's just managing now.
And she has a whole switch up. She goes from wearing these fairy princess ball gowns to the hostess club as a hostess to now she's cut her hair a little bit shorter and she's wearing full power suits. She's doing power suits. She's running meetings. She's vlogging it. Okay, she's vlogging all the running. She's turning into Roland. She said, I am Roland now, okay? He better watch out. I'm about to get him evicted from his glass mansion up in the sky in Tokyo. I'm about to live in there. That's her. That's what she's doing. So everybody is sitting there thinking, wow, this girl is crazy. She doesn't need the money. She's a Nepo baby. She's just one of those girls that you kind of want to hate because her life is so perfect, but also at the same time, she's so nice and pretty that you're like, you know what? I kind of just like want to love her because she's so incredible. That's her reputation until a post goes viral on that Japanese forum where a man comes out and says, listen, I am a very successful man. Here's my name. Here's my Instagram handle. I actually started an investment firm. Yes, I did. I am worth, investment firm, we probably had $500 million in assets that we were managing at one point.
He said that?
I mean, pretty much if you dig into it, it's like all over. Oh, this firm was managing. He founded this firm. He says, I am accusing the former number one hostess of wedding fraud, tax evasion, and lots of serious allegations pertaining to her family members. He says, whatever you think you knew about her, think again.
Wait, when was this post made?
August 2024.
So 4 months after she became the president.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
He says, let me explain. I was in a relationship with her and she had made several promises to me since our initial encounter. Since we started dating, every single day, she would tell me that, yes, I will be retiring from hostessing so that I can marry you. And I have dedicated tens of billions of yen. Do you know how much that is? Tens of millions of dollars into her.
Tens of millions?
Yes, he says, I pretty much was her biggest client. I probably was funding her to become the top hostess.
I'm the reason.
Yeah, I made her, he said, okay? But then one day, after I spent tens of millions of dollars and she accepted my proposal to get married, she out of nowhere blocked me and ghosted me. Just left. And then I went to her workplace to figure out, hello, how are you just going to block me? And it's not like we were just dating. We bought a place together. I proposed to you. You accepted a $300,000 engagement ring from Graf. How are you just going to delete me online, which is like the WeChat or Kakao Talk of Japan online. Line.
Oh, line,
right?
Okay.
He's like, how are you just going to delete me on space line? Okay, that doesn't fucking make sense. So he goes to the club where she's the president of, and he's like, President, get your ass down here. And the security won't let him in. So he's even more shocked. Like, at least be a woman about it. At least see me face to face and say, you know what? I don't want to get married with you. Your armpit stinks. And I found a hair in your butthole crack and it was long and blonde and I don't have blonde hair. You know, something like that. Like, tell me the truth of why you want to break up with me. But nothing. Just ghost him. Because people knew that they were very close and friendly prior to all of this. He said,
people knew he was the biggest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like, on her birthday, he bought 1,000 bottles of the Ace of Spades champagne, which, by the way, I do this to myself every time, okay? I have this belief. I have a strong, firm belief. If I know one thing about me, it is that I know the difference of taste between a purple carrot and a yellow carrot and an orange carrot. I think that they have very distinct flavor profiles. However, I did a blindfold test. I got it all wrong. I was 0 for 0, okay? And so I think it was because they were baby carrots. I digress. I had maybe one glass of the Ace of Shades champagne before. Ace of Spades champagne. I can't even pronounce it. You know what they say. My brokenness limits my imagination. That's a saying apparently in China. Your sister.
Oh, yes. Like, you are too poor to even think, to imagine the world, basically.
Yeah. To me, it's the Ace of... I don't even know what I said. The Ace of Spades champagne. I had one sip of it. I'm like, you're telling me this is not like that barefoot, that barefoot champagne?
Yeah.
With the little, it's like $5.
Yeah.
Guess how much this bottle of champagne is?
Yeah, let me see. How much are those?
$500. Oh, that was the price at the club.
At the club, okay.
Yeah.
Today you can get it from me for $270. Damn,
Oh, I buy it
it
for you. So you're going to be my host. Where was I? I got so distracted.
Ace of Spades.
Oh, okay. $500. He bought 1,000 bottles. How much is that? That's $500,000 of Ace of Spades champagne that he blew on her birthday weekend. And that's not including, he bought another one singular bottle of champagne that was worth $40,000. I don't know what they put in there.
So do they drink those champagne?
I think everyone in the club gets to drink it. I think
1,000 bottles,
yeah,
though?
I think she takes home most of it. Wow. She gets to bring it home.
And then she, flips it?
Yeah, I think she resells it.
What?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like,
that
what do you
is
do
really
with
weird.
1,000 bottle of champagne, right?
Yeah.
That's
I think
crazy.
this whole champagne flex is always weird. When we were talking about that crypto guy,
Yeah,
he would
yeah.
buy so much champagne at the club. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that a flex? I never understood champagne flex.
I think it's like literally just to show off how much money you have, because who cares about champagne?
Yeah.
Let's be real. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to drink champagne at that point.
Yeah, they want to snort. I don't know what they do at clubs. Yeah, they want to do other things. Yeah,
Yeah.
in different orifices. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But then I feel like it's an anti-flex when you purchase so much of something just to look like you have something. Whatever. He's buying 1,000 bottles of the Ace of Spades. He's doing all of this, and his company, he's working hard. His physical health is becoming impossible to ignore. And despite all of this, he stuck it out. Even after their breakup, she was going around allegedly bad-mouthing him. That's what he says to all of the people that knew her.
Do we know what he looks like?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's old enough to be her dad. Yeah, but they're both of legal age.
So she's 24, you said?
Yes.
She's
He's like,
45?
yeah, 26 years older.
Oh, so he's 50. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's
does he
okay.
does he look 50 or
Yeah.
60?
Yeah, I mean, he runs an investment firm.
Okay.
He doesn't look like, he looks like he's been through it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
With peace and love and happiness and lots of money. Yeah. Yeah. So it's fine though, because she's of age. I mean, personally, I think it's a little weird, but whatever. They're both consenting. They're into it. And he says because of all of this, because of their breakup and everything that's been happening, he really drank himself into alcoholism. He couldn't even sign his own name because he was always drunk. He found it difficult to even get out of bed. His business was suffering. And all of this just because she couldn't even say something to him. And then he says, after all of that, I never asked for any of the tens of millions of dollars to be returned or anything, even though, I do think it's interesting because, I think that she was doing some tax evasion. I'm just saying. He's like throwing this out in the middle of the
Damn.
post. He says, because anytime I would go to a luxury store, I would spend $40,000 in one Chanel trip. And that was like every other weekend, not even, maybe every weekend. She would ask for it to be under her name, even though I'm the one paying. And I thought maybe this girl is trying to write it off, but that would be tax evasion. If she doesn't tell the government that this is a gift, it's tax evasion. Anyway, I'm just saying what would I know about taxes? That's all I'm saying. That's literally what he's saying. He's just planting the seeds of tax evasion so casually in this post. And he said, I never wanted to say anything, but recently I visited a small little restaurant it's like a hole in the wall restaurant. They got 8 counter seats. And I see her dad there. And he looks at me after everything that we've been through. I was going to be his future son-in-law. After everything, I covered up his son's crimes. We're going to get there. I paid off his son's crimes. He could have been completely canceled and maybe gone to jail, but I paid it off. I kept the victim quiet. I'm like, sir, is this a flex? Okay. I paid off the victim after everything I've done. He's sitting there looking at me up and down. I sit at the counter and I'm just behaving respectfully, acting like I didn't see him there. And he shouts to the owner, hey, what's that guy's name at the end? Does he come here often?
Wait.
After everything, after I funded your family tens of millions of dollars, this is how you treat me? I'm just so upset that I just wanted to put this out there so that everybody knows. It is not my intention to share this information so that I can even get some of the money back. I don't care. I just want to share this information because I don't want anyone to get duped as I have been duped. And that's the end of the post. And everybody starts flipping. So people have questions of, what do you mean wedding fraud? Like that doesn't make sense. The original post just said that she's committing wedding fraud. She's accepted the proposal, is going to get married to him, and then decides to ghost him. I don't know if I would necessarily call that wedding fraud. Wedding fraud sounds like someone who's trying to get, I don't know, a green card or something, like something out of the wedding that is not love. Maybe she changed her mind. Maybe she found his deepest, darkest secrets in his underwear drawer. I don't know. Who knows? Something could have happened. So people want to follow up on that. And a follow-up he does. He explains, let me give you the whole timeline. Let me give you the rundown. March 20th, 2021, we started dating as girlfriend and boyfriend. This is in 2024. So they started dating 3 years ago. At her birthday event, October 2021, she said after the birthday event in 2021, she was going to retire. She says, I'm going to retire because obviously hostesses, especially a top hostess like me, I can't be going out and dating and getting engaged and getting married. Somebody's going to find out about it. But I want to settle down with you. So I'm going to retire. But here's the thing. I feel very nervous about retiring because what if you decide that you're going to leave? Then I have no financial security. I mean, I have my parents, but I don't like to ask them for money. I just gave up my career for you and you have the upper hand then. I have no power. So to show her that she has power, he spent $636,000, a full 2 houses at her birthday event. He said, here's 2 mortgages in cash. Here you go. And then a few days later, she says, actually, I will not be retiring. This is in 2021. And she's explaining her feelings of how she just wants to continue a little bit longer, but her next birthday event, 2022, she will definitely retire. She feels like right now she's at the peak of her career. She's made so many amazing friends, and it just maybe right now is the time. He also says that during this time, he would shower her with gifts, like very expensive gifts. And he says, remember how she's parading online? Because she does this thing where, not does this thing, but she's very humble. She's kind of the opposite of Roland. I mean, love Roland, but like the opposite in terms of she buys herself nice things. Like she bought herself a $73,000 watch for her 20th birthday, which is absolutely bonkers. But in her caption, she's telling girls that are looking up to her, hey, this is not from like a night of hostessing. This is not from a month of hostessing. This is years of hard work, of draining work, where I really had to put all my energy. I didn't have friends. All I did was work. I put my all into it. And finally, I'm reaping some rewards because I got lucky. It's not even because I just worked hard and you get results. I think there's luck involved. There's all these things. So don't look at hostessing and think, oh, I could just hostess for a little bit and be able to afford $70,000 watches. No. This is just once in a while, I buy myself something nice because I work all the time. And he's like, that's the girl you see on Instagram? That's not the girl I was seeing. Here's her text message. Basically, I bought her this diamond bracelet and she told me, thank you. The bracelet you bought me is fine because it's more expensive than this girl's, another hostess. But if we're going to get married, I think I would need a bag, a ring, a necklace that's even more expensive than hers. So he's like, okay, I mean,
you know what you're signing up for.
Yeah, so. Come on, dude. You're fucking 50. Like, you really think, okay, that's also crazy to me. That's crazy
but
to
like,
me.
I feel like the relationship was built upon, you're her top clients and her status is built upon how much money. So it's very clear.
This reminds me of The Billionaire. There's a billionaire in the US. I forgot what he's a billionaire of. Probably some crimes against humanity or something, okay? But he looks like a billionaire. They all got a look to them. They look all radioactive, all of them. He looks radioactive. He genuinely does. I don't think I would touch him with a 10-foot pole, but he's got a super hot, super young girlfriend. And he made headlines the other month because he was like, there's no way she's with me for my money. She's with me because she loves me. And everyone's like, at least be real with yourself. At least be so fucking for real right now. Like, this is crazy business. Sir, be real with yourself. Okay, you know what you're getting into, and that's okay. But he's saying, this is not the same girl that you guys see. But he said, I went on. I bought her all of these things because I thought eventually she was going to retire from the club. We were going to get married, and we would all celebrate with our friends and family. So to ease her post-retirement financial anxiety, I even gifted her $1.2 million in cash straight to her bank account. I started giving her allowance of like $100,000. Sometimes bi-weekly, a weekly, monthly. I don't know. I'm too poor for that type of imagination, basically. That's what a lot of people were commenting on Chinese memes. They're like, please be more specific. Was it a weekly allowance? A bi-weekly allowance? A one-time thing? What is it? Okay? And as she's out there gaining national fame and recognition, I get nothing. He was paying for everything. He gave her his American Express Black Card. She even posted about it, covering his name, but posting about how much fun she's having. She would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on his credit card, and he thought, that's fine. because she's about to be my wife. And when she is my wife, that's exactly how I would live my life. I'm not going to give her like a credit card limit. I'm not going to not give her my credit card. So I'm just doing it a little bit early. She would go on trips to Dubai, to the Maldives, again, you get it. Okay, through his credit card. And then by September of 2022, her birthday's in October. This is when she said, finale, I'm definitely going to retire. She suddenly turns around and says, sorry, my father opposed our marriage, so I can't retire. I'm going to maybe work another year, and during that year, we can get my father to like you. So then he invests even more money to get her parents to like him, spending tens of thousands of dollars on her mom, buying her diamond necklaces from Graf, buying her a $25,000 Cartier watch for her birthday, having them all decked out. It was insane. And then she quits. 2023, she retires, right? And then just like blocks him.
So she retired, but
doesn't want to be with him.
What? Then why did she retire?
Exactly. So he's confused. Everybody's confused. He said, go to my Instagram stories where I will be posting receipts. That's like the craziest thing. It's crazy, okay?
Someone take Grandpa's phone, please.
Yeah, Grandpa, that's not what we're doing right now. And so he starts posting receipts of how much money he's been transferring to her. He even posts receipts of them moving. They don't move in together, but they do purchase this insane condo in Tokyo, and they're walking through it. And this is like her first time seeing the condo. She's so excited. He's posting all of that. He's posting audios of her saying that she can't wait to get married to him, posting text messages of all of that. And then have you guys seen those TikTok memes that have been going viral? The Japanese girlies are slaying, but they'll be on TikTok and they do outfits of the day, and they just have the cutest voices, and they go, Zara, they do outfit, Zara, YSL, and then she always points to her earrings and she says, ex-boyfriend, because they bought it for her, right? And so he makes one, but he posts pictures of, hey Mika, and it's of her at the Chanel store. Diamond earrings, $32,000. Diamond necklace, $64,000. Dior outfit, $4,500. Diamond ring, $64,000. Hermes Birkin, $19,000. Chanel sandals, $1,280.
Wait, is he talking, or was that just a photo?
A photo, and he's talking. He's angry.
Oh, he's talking.
Yeah, he's angry, okay? He's very angry. He even shows a picture of how the Chanel sales associate had to tell them how much the money was going to be for their trip, right? And the money was so much money that she had to whip out a calculator. Like the SA brought out a calculator and said, this is how much it is. And it was just on a calculator. It was 7,119,790 yen, which is $45,600. Okay, they had to whip out a calculator because do you know how many digits that is? That's fucking
But speaking of, because of the conversion for Japanese yen, because there's so many zeros.
Yes.
Like everything is
It's
like
a calculator. Okay, your meal.
And then every time you do show something, you have to turn your phone sideways. Your meal is $3.2 million. That's kind of rough.
Wait, what? Does the renminbi work like that?
No, renminbi is like 7 times.
Oh, okay. Because when I was young, I always felt...
But Korean too, no?
Yeah, that's why I always felt super rich when someone would give me like $50. But like it would be in Korean money, it'd be like 50,000.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, I could get bitches at the club right now.
I mean, I feel like at that point we can just like... I'll remove the 3 zeros now. Like it's just like call it what it is.
Or in America we could add 3 zeros.
That's true.
And it would make me feel so much cooler.
But I feel like if we remove the zeros, right? It will save ink, save paper, save space. Guys, come on.
You know what's like the craziest thing? This is like the type of conversation he brings up while we're laying in bed and I'm trying to go to sleep. And he's like, have you thought about if we remove 3 zeros? Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's very valid. But I also think the US dollar needs a revamp. I think we need more color in our bills. So he says, over the last 2 years, I've been swindled out of tens of millions of dollars. And I'm just telling you, I even bought, I didn't even just buy her a diamond necklace. I bought her mom a matching graph diamond necklace. And all those things that she posts online here and there talking about, this is how hard I work and this is years of work that I've accumulated to buy this Birkin, this diamond necklace. Those were all me. He says, they weren't her, they were me. Sometimes if she didn't have my credit card on her, she would call her while she's on the trip with her friends that I paid for. And she would ask me to wire her money to buy $40,000 worth of Chanel. Everything was funded by him.
Is he sad?
He's very sad.
It's giving like sad ex-boyfriend energy.
Okay.
Like,
See, I don't even know why this is really a scandal. Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I was reading the translated version of his post, because I had our researcher translate it, and like sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes our researchers, they'll be working on some crazy ass RM cases. And then the next one, I'm like,
hey, so like there's this online post. Can you translate it for me?
and they're like, you know what? This is actually the perfect break that I needed. So thank you. But it's so ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's just, the post itself is just very sad boy. Sad boy is not getting married. And everything is so detailed that it's petty. He even posts about her Graf diamond collection. So there's this butterfly collection from Graf. He says, I purchased everything. 3 items totaling over $300,000. And this is not even including like a engagement ring. Her engagement ring is this stunning emerald cut ring that was separately $300,000. He said, I got her the butterfly diamond bracelet, the butterfly necklace, the butterfly ring. I bought all the fucking butterflies because I wanted to see her fly around me, but she flew away. What the fuck?
he said that?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, damn. It's kind of good.
That's poetic. So, anyway, even the proposal, this is so ridiculous. He said that she wanted something really grand. So he proposes with that diamond ring, the emerald cut that I was telling you about. But everything was decked out. There's flowers everywhere. And he had to have sections for the gifts. So she doesn't even just get her engagement ring, but she gets a Chanel bag, Chanel shoes, Chanel jewelry, Chanel scarf. And the Chanel has a section, like a department store. And then she walks a few more feet and it's like all Hermes. And then she walks a few more feet and it's all Dior. And it's just like she's walking through a department store, but it's leading up to her proposal instead of her car at the parking lot.
It's like Mr. Beast video. Right?
Yeah. Oh,
If you stick till the end,
Yes, yeah.
you're gonna get a private island.
Yeah. And then you're like, actually, these are like war crimes. Okay. So, yeah, it's like that. It's like that. He was very upset. He wants us all to know about this. So he's posting all of this. And now it's time for Himika. Which, side note, a lot of people thought that he just was getting the wrong signals. Like, a lot of people were questioning, hey, maybe she didn't really think you were serious and she was just taking your gifts and just playing along with you, but she's a hostess. It's a fantasy at the end of the day. Like, she's got her own life. But he says, no, here's proof. And he would post all these messages where she's saying things like, I'll always be with you. Don't worry. Just like we promised. Please make me your wife. I love you. Good night. Like, very loving messages. And he says, I barely saw her in person. Like she was always busy. I think I saw her like maybe once every other month. But she was spending my money every day. I mean, shit, dude. Whose fault is that right now? Like, I don't even think we can blame her for that. If someone gives me their black Amex card and says, here you go, do with that what you will.
Yeah.
I will do with that what I will.
I feel like he's a little too old to be like, I didn't know. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know this is how,
I thought she loved me.
Yeah, I didn't know this is how this club works.
So then, okay, this is where it actually gets serious. So he says that he did help cover up some crimes. He claims that her family is not actually wealthy. So
Is
everything.
that a crime?
No. I'm so sorry. It's gonna be a crime. It's
Okay.
not that it's a crime, but he's saying everything about her hostess life is all manufactured because what do men want? Men don't want women who need money. So her coming from a wealthy family that doesn't even need money, it makes it seem more genuine when she spends time with clients because it's like, oh, I really want to spend time with you because I don't even need the money. I just think you're a fascinating character.
That's okay.
Yes.
True.
So he's saying all of this was manufactured, even her personality of like, I'm working hard as a hostess, blah, blah, blah. He claims it's all manufactured. I feel like perhaps it is, perhaps it's not. Let her get her bag. And you're kind of sounding butthurt at this point. You sound like you want to be her, sir. You sound crazy. But this is where it does get bad. Because of the family doesn't really have a lot of money, he says that everything was funded through her hostessing. And he was ready. He told her, if you quit, I will support your family as well. Your whole family, your parents, everybody. They're on me. They're going to be my family now, which is why he's always showering them with gifts, buying them things, trying to impress them. But this is where it draws the line for me. Her little brother is a bully in high school. And there was a video where he is bullying a student to eat someone else's chewed food. So like he'll get one of his bully friends to chew a piece of meat and then spit it onto the victim's plate and then force them to eat it. Yeah. And then
So is that like videotaped by someone? Okay.
And then they would get a red bean paste like mochi, like a patok, whatever, and then just spread the red bean paste all over the victim's face. So
this is like happening at that time.
yes.
And the brother is in high school, college?
High school.
Wow.
So the victim or whoever filmed this gave this to the victim. They present it to the family, the parents, like, hey, I have this victim. This is what your son is doing to my son. Like, this is unacceptable. We're going to go to the school. We're going to call the police. Like, we're not going to deal with this. He comes in and he knows if this gets out, it's going to ruin Himika's career. It's going to ruin everything, their whole family image, everything. I don't think her image should be connected to her brother unless she knew about it and condoned it. I know that that's the way it works in this world, but I don't think he should do what he does next.
Yeah.
Like he should pay the consequences of being a bully.
Yeah. But I think the nuance of it is that, you know, Japan and even a lot of East Asian countries, the family, you do get blamed.
Yeah.
Especially in Japan.
Yeah.
Like, so if one family member is a criminal, it will impact the rest of the family member.
Yeah. So out of love for her, he goes and pays $300,000 USD to the victim's family and the video disappears. He brings all of this up now on the forums and everybody is like, oh, this is dark. This is really dark. So what's going on? He also shows a receipt that in 1 month alone, he spent $2.5 million on her and her entire family. And despite all of this, he would get random messages from people that were mutual friends that would see her out and about with other men, would send pictures to him of her cheating and meeting up with other clients. So he just feels like he did his best to do everything that she wanted and he was still betrayed like this. This goes viral. Himika comes and she starts posting her side of the story where she says, this is not what you think it is. Like, I'm very sorry. I didn't want to give him that impression. And she just, it's like a very generic apology initially. And a lot of people don't like her. But also a lot of people don't like him. They don't like either party. A lot of people feel like this is a scammer getting scammed by another scammer. And like the two scammers should be with each other.
He's a scammer?
That's what we're getting at, right? So she's apologizing, and at first people really don't like her. And then a lot of her fans go in and they start digging into this guy because they're like, the timeline isn't adding up. Because at this point, he's saying that they broke up around the time that she retired, which was in 2023. But this post is being made like a full year later. So why are you posting a year later? When you were the most upset, it would have been a year ago when you guys broke up. When she ghosted you, I would imagine that's when your emotions are like at the peak, the height. So why a year later? And what is this investment firm that you run? So they start digging into him. The investment firm, it's a Ponzi scheme. And 260 something of his own investors are in a class action lawsuit against him. He's going bankrupt.
Wait. How many people?
260 something investors are class action lawsuit against him. He is going bankrupt. Apparently, this is the way that it worked. He would first take in people's money, the original first group of people for investing, right? He never invested it. He just spent it. So then when these people want their money back, so then they bring in the second group and they say, hey, come invest. Look at how much money the first group made. They get the money and then they give it to the first group. And now when the second group wants their money back, they got to go find a third group and then a fourth group and a fifth group. And it's just exchanging monies between hostesses and the investors. They should honestly just invest directly to hostess clubs. I'm going to be so real with you. I feel like I would trust a hostess to invest my money than most hedge funds. I'd be like, I feel like you know something, okay? He also posts, this is getting really petty. People start kind of turning on him because this information comes out. He seems like a shady businessman. He seems like he's not using his funds right. So all this, I spent tens of millions of dollars. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have fucking done that.
So the tens of millions of dollars he spent is basically the other people's money.
Yes.
So like 260 people gave their
Yes.
savings to him.
So, okay, 260 people give their savings to him. And they're upset that he's not giving it back like he promised. He gives those savings to Jaimica and is upset that she's not giving it back, even though she never said she was going to give it back.
Right.
So people are saying, who's worse at this point? Probably him, because she's scamming a rich guy. I mean, she's not even scamming. She's just accepting gifts from a rich guy under the pretense that she will marry him. I don't know. Maybe she did want to marry him, okay? But he's scamming innocent people.
Oh, yeah. He's
horrendous.
Yeah, that's jail.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
sorry. I think Jaimica is not, right? Like, did she do something illegal? No, right?
I think, okay, the only thing that gets me is the brother thing.
Yeah, but that's, again,
still not her.
Yeah, that's not her.
Yes.
So she's not criminally...
Unless, I don't think criminally. Unless she was like really just leading him on with promises of marriage. But also, I feel like that depends on where your morals stand. I feel like for me, I'm like, guys, life is so rough right now. Like, do you see the state of the world and politics and economy? You think I give a shit if some rich guy is giving all his money to a pretty girl? No. Okay? I don't care.
But he's scamming hundreds of people. Yeah.
Like innocent people. Because when you go to a hostess club, you have to imagine that there's a level of mindfuckery there. When you go to an investment firm, you would hope there's not.
That is crazy. So he kind of exposed himself?
Yes. So it's like news amongst the financial community or people who, you know, really dive deep into stonks and investment firms and stuff. But it's not mainstream news, and it's not news amongst younger people. And then this comes out and they're like, wait a minute. This is crazy. You're a scam artist. He's basically going bankrupt. But he, instead of trying to... He does address it, and he's saying like there was a lot of misunderstandings at the company, which is why he's getting sued. And a lot of the money, he's saying, hey, Mika was forcing him to give her the money because she was like manipulating him. I don't know. And that's why the investors are upset now, and he's dealing with the mess. He's almost trying to
it's your company.
He's trying to like implicate her as if she was also doing something shady. But it's like, it's your company, sir. Yeah, get out of here. But he keeps being petty. While all of this is happening, he's posting online, hey guys, these are pre-surgery photos of her. And then everyone is like, you know, she looks very pretty. Like it actually backfired.
No way.
Yeah, and I don't think it should backfire even if they look vastly different before or after surgery. I don't think it should matter. I guess maybe to some people it's visually shocking, right? But her before is like idol already. So everyone's like, oh my God, she's naturally so pretty. And then he's like, I also paid for her boobs. And everyone's like, sir,
Jeez.
This is getting weird. Aren't you like 79? What's happening? Yeah, he said, I paid $17,000 for her boobs. And everyone's like, well, they must be great. So I hope she is a hostess again. I don't know. What's wrong with you? What's going on right now? He also states that she's a gambler and posts pictures of her at the casino losing money. And again, it's like... Okay, you're an embezzler. She's a gambler. It's fine. What's happening right now? Now, Jaimica, it actually gets so bad that she has to set her Instagram account to private, and she has to remove all of her past YouTube videos because a lot of people are getting upset at her day in the life of a hostess or her doing an unboxing of a luxury haul. People are just so upset with her. He also claims that the only reason that she ghosted him is not even because she's retiring. It's because he was getting hit with lawsuits. So he's saying you wanted to benefit off of everything that was happening, but then just like leave and all my clients are
Oh my gosh.
The way he spins it is a little more eloquent. He tries to say that his clients are in a misunderstanding, and I'm like, how is it a misunderstanding?
Let me get this story straight, okay? Tens of millions of dollars is literally people's saving, right?
Yes.
When someone give that money to you, it's not your money. You're just helping them invest. So you take this responsibility of trying your absolute best not to lose money. Like that's
and then
literally
you take
your
like the fee, right? Or whatever you say.
and then you take a small percentage if you make people money. It's like someone's life saving. And then you turn around knowing this, even if this girl is trying to whatever, like wants to buy like, I don't know, spend $1 million on something. It's your job to say, no, that's not even my money. That's my client's money. So I don't have money. But instead he turned around and said, here's my credit card. Go have fun.
Yeah.
So he is literally jail. So when she found out that, actually, not only you don't have money, you are actually a scam artist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't want to marry. So I mean, come on.
I mean, do you blame her for ghosting him? No, because okay, maybe she wanted to spend his money and maybe she wanted to marry him.
Yeah.
But then when she found out he's a horrible person, she can change her mind.
Yeah.
And she doesn't necessarily have to explain herself when you're committing fraud, when you are committing literal crimes. So he continues like that. And at this point, Jaimika has to make multiple different statements. Now, this is where I do think things get a little bit weird. And I am having a hard time understanding if I'm missing something or like if the Japanese netizens are just really upset about the fact that she was doing this. I don't know, because all of her videos are getting hate comments. Yeah.
Say, like, what are they saying?
Well, some of them are like hating both of them, saying the real winner here are the plastic surgeons, you know, and the credit card companies and the hostess clubs that make the money. Other people are saying when a scammer meets another scammer and they fall in love. Other people are saying they're perfect for each other. But then I don't know why she is on the same level as him. Like, she did her job too well and he didn't do his job. Like, they're not the same.
Yeah. I think it's always the shock of people feel like this is not who I thought
She was.
she was.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
because she just loves spending every day talking to 90-year-old men who want to grope her boobies. Okay, that's crazy. I'm sure some of her clients are wonderful people, but you have to assume like at least a good chunk of them are trying to cross boundaries. And then some people are even commenting, turns out this whole story is an old con artist being scammed by a younger female con artist and then being very upset about it. So the reason where it does get weird is that she does post this very strange video where she announces that she's going to be stepping down as president of the club. And I think this is where a lot of Japanese netizens are mad because of all this drama. The whole club is getting a bad reputation. A lot of the hostesses are suffering at that club. They're not getting enough clients. The club is kind of being branded as, oh, go there if you want to get scammed. They don't actually care about you, stuff like that. So because of her, other people are suffering, and people initially thought she should absolutely step down. And she makes a video where she says she's gonna step down, and people are mad. That's what's crazy to me, okay? They're like, you should have stepped down. Like, don't act like you're doing the valiant, heroic thing. This is the normal thing to do. Because I guess she was trying to make it seem like she's doing this because she's so empathetic to the people that are in the club and that she's very emotional about this and she feels like a failure. But I want to say, I think throughout the video, she's pretty honest. She says that she got caught up on the status of being the top hostess and she lost her mind. And clearly that's why all of these things happened. She's saying that if she were to stay as humble as she was when she first started hostessing, none of this would have happened. But obviously, she got ahead of herself. She let the reputation get to her. She let the words get to her, the money get to her. And then all of this happened and she really regrets it, which I feel like is a pretty genuine apology. But this is where it gets weird. She has her assistant named Karen, who's behind the camera, and she's talking about the future of the YouTube channel. She's talking about how she's going to write a book. Oh, okay. People really did not like that. She was like, I'm never, ever talking about my relationship with him, ever, except one time, and it will be in the book that I'm writing.
And the link is down below to pre-order.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say that was pretty bad. Okay, fine. Yeah, that was pretty fucking deplorable, but it, like, still not as deplorable as scamming people out of tens of millions of hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, so she says, I'm going to write a book. And then at one point, Karen is like, okay, well, I think this is a really good time to do an ad break. Even Jaimika looks shocked. Like, you want me to do an ad break right here? Like, she's like, right here? right now? And Karen is so aggressive. And Karen is like, yeah, right now. So now there's conspiracy theorists.
What?
Okay, so there's a group of people who believe that Karen is the reason that Jaimica is in this situation. So some people think like Jaimica's dumb. That's what netizens think. She's dumb. She's being led around by all these people around her that are like, yeah, get the money from him. Yeah, just text him this and then get the money. Yeah, just do this. And they're probably making money from that because they're hired by her and they're all profiting. And then Karen even says, because YouTube is my livelihood. Come on, add an ad.
Damn.
Yeah, and this is like her team.
Okay.
So people think either A, she's just too nice, maybe too naive, and then if you really want to be harsh, too dumb, and she's getting pulled around by all these employees and yes men who don't have her right interests, and she's doing all of this under their control. Or you have another half of people who think she's so clever. She's so clever. Her team member is doing this to make her seem innocent so that they can add an ad. And I'm like, that seems really complicated. Like, can you imagine? That's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Because, like, who's okaying this video to go up? It's so weird. It's not even edited out.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's just left in there. That's why people came up with that conspiracy that they're all doing this.
The video's still up?
Yes.
What?
It's like the most played part is the part.
So weird.
Well, yeah.
That is so weird. You could delete that too, right? That's so weird.
Yeah, you can go in post and delete it.
Oh.
But she won't. So people are like, either A, she's too naive, doesn't have control over any of her businesses, and that's how she got into this place in the first place. Or B, she's actually so smart and she put her team members up to this so that she could still be perceived as innocent while monetizing her apology and stepping down as president.
Okay. Wow.
And that was the finale.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that was
So
like
what's happening
a
right
month
now?
ago. She says that she's gonna keep posting on YouTube. Honestly, I feel like she is genuine in the fact that she keeps saying everything she thought she was doing correctly in life turned out to be incorrect, clearly, and it backfired. So now she's like second guessing herself.
I do think it's fascinating because, we talk so much about host and hostess club. At the end of the day, it's a lot of psychology game, right? Technically, all you going there is to get you trying to have a good time and you trying to get something out of it, like your ego stroked, right? It's a lot of mental psychology behind in these environments.
Yeah.
So I think for someone to be in there all day long, all you do is looking at this person across from you and trying to see what gets them going.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what does this guy want? What does this guy want? What does he want?
Yeah, like how do you... I wonder if that's really hard to switch off once you get so good at it.
Oh, yeah.
And even in your personal relationships, I bet it starts automatically working.
Because I bet you just kind of starting to know if I say this, they're gonna buy us champagne. They're gonna do this. They're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, right? It's a very interesting job.
That is a very interesting. Psychology is fascinating.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Who's in the wrong? And like my Japanese netizens, is there something I'm missing? Because like the way people are commenting hate on her, I'm like, okay, the brother thing I get, but like that's on the brother. Unless she was actively like, no, my brother's a saint. He's an angel. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.